Hey everybody, it's your girl Bondy Blue, and I want you to check out Bondy's Boutique and get some of my merch, y'all. I've added some new things like my mermaid cups and the mermaid tees, and also the Shake Them Tits mugs. All right, you asked for it and you got it. Check out Bondy's merch at Bondy's Boutique.
All right, y'all, I'm back, y'all. I'm back for Black Ink Crew Chicago, bitch, and let me just go ahead and light this sage to protect the bitch energy, okay? Because I wake up this morning and Offset baby mama is on my Instagram in my comments in all caps going off on me about what she mad about, Offset about. And I just kind of feel like sis want attention. You know, she mad because she don't like the depiction that's put out there, but your life is your life, bitch. Like, you can't let other people make you feel bad about your life choices. Like, I don't understand. If you wanted to be out here fucking Offset that you had just met that day with no condom and got pregnant by him, don't then get mad because it seems like you were thought. It's thought-like behavior. Yes, it is. But at the end of the day, bitch, like, who ain't out here thoughting at one point or another? You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't supposed to let people, especially people who ain't paying your fucking bills, make you feel like shit about the decisions you've made in life. Okay? And I just, you know, I watched that whole Offset interview, y'all. I watched that whole hour-long interview. And I really have to say that I don't believe that he said anything bad about her. He said he handled their situation wrong, but that it's good now. And he's doing his best to, you know, co-parent. So for her to be all online, all in my comments, you know, with the extra, it's like, bitch, what do you want? What do you want? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand. You have him doing right by y'all child. He did say he was wrong. You acting like he didn't say that. So, y'all, yeah. I just feel like sis creating problems for herself that she don't need. Okay? But you know what? We're going to go ahead and move on to Black Ink Crew. Now that I done burnt the sage, bitch. Okay? Alright. So, at the beginning of Black Ink Crew Chicago, Bella comes into the shop. We having, you know, regular hoopla conversation. And Bella wants to know, did they really fire Lily? And Ryan is like, no, I didn't fire Lily. I just let her go home because, you know, tempers are high. And maybe she needs to think about her life and the decisions that she makes. Because she is unapologetic about offending people. Ryan doesn't necessarily feel like Lily is racist or, you know, feel the same way as Van and Charmaine do about her saying the N-word. But at the same time, you know, I understand that when Latino people and Black people sometimes grow up in the same environments together under the same type of oppression, you know, and everybody's listening to hip-hop, then the nigga word gets thrown around, and then all of a sudden Latino people are allowed to say a word that was supposed to just be for the Black folks, especially when you see how some Latinos can be Black and then some Latinos mix with the Black folk and have children together, and then, you know, nigga half Black, half Puerto Rican, and then, you know, he can say the N-word. So people, you know, it's all gotten mixed up to the point where some people feel it's acceptable and some people feel it's unacceptable. I feel like it's unacceptable. Unless you are considered an Afro-Latina, I don't think it's acceptable. But I also feel like niggas get mad about what they want to get mad about. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, if y'all wanted to check Lily about this shit, y'all should have checked Lily about this shit 3 years ago. Not all of a sudden now when Charmaine has finally found something that she can use to get Lily out of the shop. And Charmaine is just happy that she did that, okay? So, Charmaine says since she's speaking out against injustices, she has decided that she wants them to speak out against R. Kelly, and she's going to be a part of a rally outside of his studio, the studio where he had all them girls, you know, living with mattresses and shit that they threw out on the street. And she wants to have a demonstration in front of that area. And the way she told it as if it was her idea. But then when it come time, we find out that it was another personality from the radio station's idea. And she was just coming along for the ride. And even though I do recognize the importance of what Charmaine is talking about, I feel like Charmaine is using any any opportunity to make a scene for herself on this show because she knows she really has no place on this show anymore. It seems very opportunistic. It seems like she's grandstanding, and it's annoying as fuck. And I wish that she would just have another overly sexualized scene with her old man, so we don't have to sit through, you know, this bitch grandstanding and using, you know, R. Kelly as a way to make herself seem like she's some type of activist. You know, like, it worked my nerves a little bit, y'all. The guys agree that they're going to support her, and I'm like, support her how? Y'all didn't show up to the rally, so how are you supporting? Like, sometimes I feel like they just doing shit just to do it, just to have something to say and do on camera. So Bella, Ryan, and Lily meet up, and Lily says it's obvious that Lily being called a racist has begun to sink in. Because even though I don't believe she is, I believe in some way she's feeling bad that people think she may be. So she says that Charmaine saying whatever she said, her trying to educate Charmaine, Charmaine trying to educate Lily, I'm sorry, on the situation, her delivery was fucked up. And we all know Charmaine's delivery was fucked up because it wasn't about you actually understanding the situation. It was about getting your ass out and pointing the finger at you and being able to say you're a racist, because we all know that black people, we don't like racists. Because 9 times out of 10, the motherfuckers is racist against us. All right? Hold up, y'all. Let me, feel like this light, this auto, this light. Okay, hopefully the light will chill out now. And Ryan says that, look, regardless to the fact that Charmaine don't like you, and we all know why she did it, you know, Ryan admits that he knows the only reason why Charmaine is acting a fool with Lily is because she doesn't like her and she wants her out. That Lily has a problem with everybody in the shop, and if she has a problem with everybody in the shop, then Ryan has a problem. And this is when I feel like we've gone right back to old school Ryan, where he lets all of them bully him into making decisions that he otherwise would not make for himself. But you know what? Whatever, Ryan. If that's where we at with it, that's where we at with it. And he feels like she needs to at least give an apology somewhat to the other people in the shop, and she needs to learn how to get along with people. Lily doesn't like Charmaine, so Lily doesn't want to apologize to Charmaine. And this is when I feel like Lily needs to grow the fuck up. Because Lily, outside of this, you know, nigga shit, you have put your hands on Charmaine more than once. And in some situations, for absolutely nothing at all, for a conversation, for stating how she feel, or just because she annoyed you, or deep down because you were jealous of the fact that she was raised better and had a better home life situation than you did. We all know that that's a lot of the times what it's been about with you, Lily. I wouldn't necessarily, you know, think that that means that she's racist, but I would think that means that she's immature and she needs to grow the fuck up, okay? So the fact that you can't even apologize or meet Charmaine halfway after all of the things you've done to Charmaine, that pisses me off and makes me feel like, well, if you can't apologize and try to get right with nobody, you need to just go ahead and find you another shop to work at. Because it's apparent that she ain't going no damn well, okay? So Ryan meets up with the landlord, and they kind of have this long, drawn out, suspense-filled conversation where we're trying to figure out if Ryan is about to get kicked out on his ass again. But no, the landlord actually has a larger property that he wants to offer to Ryan to use and, you know, move him to that property. And because Ryan was already trying to expand, but shit didn't work out the way he wanted it to, he is open to that. He's happy. He's going to expand into a new 9 mag. So Charmaine and her titties run into the shop telling everybody that Junior got picked up by the cops during the traffic stop. And she's like, you know, they was already on one from the beginning. And okay, we could definitely believe that. We know how police officers can be. Okay, she says they got pulled over for running a red light. Why is you running a red light? But whatever. Ran a red light. The police pulled Junior out the car because Junior told them that he has a weapon in the car. He has papers for it and everything. And they pulled him out the car, put handcuffs on him, find the gun, and then they took him to jail. So Charmaine showed up after the fact, all upset, and Ryan is about to get on the phone and call his lawyers and see who he got to call to get Junior out of jail. And then here comes Junior walking through the door. So apparently because he had his papers on his gun, and Charmaine gonna be like, obviously the gun was the girl, please, not no fucking obviously. Not no fucking obviously. That was the reason why we thought he probably got arrested, because that gun wasn't legal. We know niggas be having guns that's not legal. Please stop. Okay, Charmaine, like Charmaine just always, you know, exactly. Like, bitch, no, you didn't know none of that. So please stop. Okay, please put pause on you acting as if you knew something or you knew better or whatever. But Junior is fine. He got out of jail, and well, he wasn't in jail, but they let him go because they didn't really have anything on him. And I was just like, okay, so he got to go home to his old lady because she been worried. Child, how long was he even in jail? Like an hour? I mean, you know, at the police station, an hour? Girl, whatever. All right. So, y'all, Lily has had time to herself since she's been on leave from 9 Mag, and she started to work on some art. And she's decided that she wants to do an art show. So she meets up with some, you know, people who can put the art show together for her, like a fully immersive situation where, you know, she shows you all the food and drinks and the good parts about Mexico, but then leads you into what causes people to leave and run from Mexico, and then the channels that they have to go through, the life and death situation that they have to go through in order to get to that point. I thought that was a genius idea because I feel like there is such a disparity about why the Mexicans or the people who live in Southern America come to this country in the first damn place. And I feel like there's so much callous attitude towards what these people have to go through. At the end of the day, I'm very fully aware that Mexican mothers tell their Mexican sons not to bring black women home. I'm fully aware that they have their feelings about us, and some of us have our feelings about them. But at the end of the day, like I've said many times before, what they do to them, they will do to us, because a lot of the times we are grouped into the same oppressive people group, okay, black and brown. So whether we have our own issues within that, at the end of the day, a lot of the times we are grouped together. So I understood this. I thought this was genius. And I feel like, as a, you know, no matter what your ethnicity is, because I don't like saying race, whatever your ethnicity is, I believe that you should be educated on what other people have to go through before you make ignorant statements about how, you know, they need to stay over there, and, you know, they need to go through the proper channels and all of this shit, when a lot of the times it's life and death situations. If people were to go through the right channels, for one, they wouldn't have the money. For two, it takes a long time in order to get those proper channels to go through, which is why so many people come to the border requesting asylum, so that they can at least be out of harm's way in the process. Okay, so there's a lot of things that go on when it comes to the Mexicans running over here to this country. Lily herself on, you know, on a reality show has told us about her father being killed because of the cartel. Okay, so, you know, and they got a whole fucking show called The Cartel Crew on VH1 where they try and make, you know, I feel like in some ways make light or be proud of such a fucked up situation. But at the end of the day, Mexico is not policed in the same way that America is. They're not living in a poor version of America. That is not what's happening. They're living in a place where at any moment somebody can bust into their Adobe style built home and take them and their family members and force their children, their daughters into sex slavery, and force their sons to be little child soldiers. And then if you're not going to do it, they're going to kill everybody. That's a totally different situation than what goes on here in America, which is why some of them would rather come over here and get paid $2 an hour or deal with whatever bullshit in America they have to deal with, because their lives are in danger in Mexico. And the fact that people refuse to have compassion for that, refuse to understand that, I find that very fucked up, especially coming from African Americans who have dealt with some of these same trials and tribulations years ago, 400 years ago, or whenever we've had to deal with, you know, our lives being in danger in such a way. But at the same time, our situations are different. We didn't come here, we were dragged here on boats where we were, you know, kept at the bottom of a boat, chained to another human being for months at a time, no fresh air, with feces and no clean water, and pissing on one another. Like, we were put in far worse situations, granted, but that does not negate the fact that these people need help as well. And I find it so fucking funny that America will go across water to get involved in somebody's war, to get involved in somebody's, you know, fights. But they won't cross a border to help give some type of control and justice to the situation in Mexico. And I believe it's because, for one, they either being paid off or it works with the economy. the way it is for Mexico to be the one, you know, bringing drugs into the country. Everybody acts like they fighting against these things, but in all actuality, if you were fighting against them, then it would be under control, but it's not. Which leads me to believe y'all know what's going on and y'all don't care, and in some way it is profitable for the states in order for Mexico to be ran by the cartel the way it is. I'm just saying, I don't know nothing, but that's the way it seems to me. Okay, I could be watching too much Blacklist, but that, okay, I could be watching way too much Scandal and shit, but something tells me that nothing would be going on the way it is if it were not being allowed by somebody in this country. We are on the same fucking continent. Okay, and if you really wanted to stop all the flood of people from coming over here, why not go over there and police the situation the way you do in all these other countries? Y'all was so happy to go over to Africa and police they shit, go over to Afghanistan and police they shit. Why would you not police something that's on the same continent as you that affects your immigration? Like, okay, let's move on. But I was appreciative of Lily and her trying to put this together. And, you know, Lily feels as if it's crazy for people to think that she as a Mexican can be racist. And I'm like, oh honey, maybe not racist, because I feel like racism is a construct, and you know, more of, it's way bigger. Like the racism that takes place is on a much larger scale. It affects jobs, it affects hospitals, you know, it affects all kind of different things that is systematic, not just, oh, I don't like you, or I feel like my people are better than your people, or whatever. It's much bigger than that. But I will say that, Lily, you are sadly mistaken, baby. There are a whole bunch of Mexican people that do not like black people and feel that they don't want to procreate with us, and they don't want their kids bringing us home just like white folks do. Okay? So that's some bullshit right there. Just because you're Mexican does not mean that you cannot be racist or prejudiced or biased against black people. We are always the ones that everybody wants to feel like they're better than. Whether you Cambodian or you're Vietnamese or Chinese or Asian or, you know, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, whatever. Everybody wants to feel like they're better than black folks. So that's some bullshit right there, Lily. You can, you know, cry crocodile tears all the fuck you want to, but either you understand or you get the fuck. And that's just that. Moving on, y'all. So Van puts together this grand gesture to make it up to Jen after the 1100 time of cheating on her ass and publicly humiliating her. Okay, now the whole time he talking all of this sweet shit, got candles, got real good food by a chef that I was just like, oh wait, what is that? Lobster mac and shit? What? Oh, okay. Like the food excited me more than anything that was coming up out of Van's mouth. But he's telling her how he wants to start over. And I'm like, how many times are y'all gonna fucking start over? Y'all been starting over and pressing restart on this game for years, all right? And Jen is like, so how do I know it's gonna be different this time? How do I know that the words you're saying are different from the times before? And he was like, I can only show you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, please, get that shit a couple of months and that nigga will be back to his, I don't give a fuck about Jen's feelings, I want this puss, okay? He'll be right back to that frame of mind. So I honestly feel like if Van don't learn this time, Jen needs to go ahead and move on with her fucking life, because she has suspended her life in the air waiting on Van to be the man that she needs him to be. And I just think that is no way for a woman to live her life, because you ain't doing nothing but putting yourself through the ringer. You ain't doing nothing but tiring out your heart and your emotions and your mental to the point where somebody who might actually be good for you comes into the picture. You won't be able to trust that it's a good thing because you so used to being dogged out by that little fat nigga. Okay, moving along, y'all. So Ryan does a tattoo, a beautiful, beautiful roses on this girl's forearm, and you just really forget sometimes how great of a tattoo artist Ryan is. Child, I would want him to tattoo me, but I think he might overcharge me and try to hurt me, okay? But anyway, he's pontificating, as my girl Roxanne would say, on all of his mistakes that have turned out to be motivation for him to turn his business into a better situation than what it's been previously. Charmaine joins that other radio personality for the demonstration. You know, we need to protect our women. Just something about the way she speaks sometimes makes me feel like she's not being genuine. Okay, and I hate to say that because she is a black woman and she should feel that way. Everything she's saying, that's exactly how she should feel. But something about it to me sometimes feels like she's saying it because she feels like that's what she's supposed to say, not because it's what she really feels deep down. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as this is over, she not gonna give a fuck no more. Like, sometimes that's just how I feel about the way Charmaine comes off, which can be disingenuous, okay? But anyway, so Lily has her art show and she was really worried about Ryan coming through. She really wanted to impress him, and it was really cool the way, you know, they had you, whether you had to ride on top of that train that the Mexicans have to ride on, you know, in order to get to the border, or the tunnels that they have to go through where they might suffocate, like, you know, or being shot and killed by the cartel. Like, all of these different things that they have to do in order to get to a place where they don't have to worry about being killed. And then to get to the border and have to deal with all of this shit now, where they take your kid, and they take your kid, and your kid could somehow end up being molested by somebody or put into somebody's house where they supposed to be their little sex toy. Y'all know shit like this happens. And some of me feels like y'all want to keep people illegal and not give them amnesty and not allow them to become citizens because y'all want them to be able to be people that can't be found and people that can't be accounted for, because then you can put them into child slavery and put them into you know, sex trafficking. Like, that shit goes on here. And you know that there'd be some of them same people that's supposed to be fighting against these things. They got little kids living in their fucking basements that they're using as sex toys or to clean their house and don't have to pay them and all of that shit. Like, I'm a firm believer in that shit really does happen to people. And that type of situation happens to these children, and then the way they were separated. It's a whole bunch of shit that goes on that we should all be outraged about. And not just because, you know, they brown and we black or whatever, but because as a human, you should have a problem and feel some type of way when things are happening to children or things are happening to people that is fucked up. It's fucked up to me. So y'all, Lily's family and her mom comes through, and Ryan comes through, and he's impressed, and she says she's sorry for all the bullshit that she's caused in the shop, but she's decided not to return to 9 Mag. And I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, because we don't need no more of your crazy ass mood swings, bitch. Go be an artist somewhere. Go live your life. Ain't nobody ever said artists are supposed to be sane, happy people. A lot of the times that's not the situation. So it's not like we mad at you for being crazy, but bitch, go somewhere, because it's exhausting. It don't need to be on VH1 on Wednesday night. I know that. Bye, Lily. Happy to see you go, ho. Now let's work on Junior's ass. Like, I'm just saying, they act like that nigga ain't getting into something every other day as well. So, you know, everybody goes back to the shop, and Ryan tells them about, you know, them moving into a new spot. And of course, everybody got to be like, oh, I'm glad you finally telling us. Shut the fuck up, okay? It's his business. But he's telling y'all because he wants y'all to move with him, supposedly, because it looked like when he had that little party, it might not be that. But y'all had us going through commercial break after commercial break trying to find out who was walking through the doors of 9 Mag as if we didn't already know it was 4. Y'all, 4 back. He done worked on himself somewhat and got himself together and, you know, replenished so he can come and furthermore deal with the fuck shit that is 9 Mag and Black Ink Crew Chicago. But yeah, y'all, we shall see. We shall see. You know, I really do think that maybe Ryan shouldn't have done this show. He already was a celebrity tattoo artist. He didn't need to do this. And the way he complains about it and the way he makes it seem like they done fucked over him so much and fighting production and all of that, but yet you still on the show. You know, like, you didn't need to do this. Your artwork is magnificent, and you could have just been a tattoo artist that was on your shit. You should have went go did one of them tattoo show, you know, competitions or some shit. But I understand you want to, you know, be a premier black tattoo company. You want to get that out there, and sometimes the best way to get your shit out there is to be on a reality show. But it's been 5 seasons, and y'all are coming back for a 6th, I'm sure. Y'all done wore me the hell out. Y'all, that was it. I'll see y'all in the next one.